essentially with Topman, you got to enjoy the products, I think, because you're going to be the person who's wearing them on a day-to-day basis. You're going to be the person who's going to events, you know, sporting their clothing and promoting those clothing. So I think if you're going to become a brand ambassador, you've got to have love for the company that you're doing it for.
So show me why you're strong. Ignore everybody else.
Well, I'm supporting mental health because obviously it was an issue that affected me strongly between the ages of kind of 19 and 21. And for me to use my platform and to wide case the message that we're setting together with a campaign for people to not bottle up their emotions and to speak out is something that affected me, and I want to use my platform to give something back and just encourage people to speak out and seek the help that is there. And great to be an ambassador with a charity, Calm, and encourage people to pick up the phones and speak to people and be more free with their emotions. The stigma around mental health is that we want to encourage people to feel comfortable with speaking to other people, and that men shouldn't bottle up their emotions, men should speak out, and that's definitely not a weakness. And it is obviously a stereotype that men should be these strong, dependent people that should just man up, which is obviously the message that we're completely against, and it's not the way that I feel, and it's not the way that the charity feels as well. So I think just in an advertiser sense, just promoting what's right, and that is essentially sharing the message that our campaign has suggested, in the sense that we don't want men to bottle it up. We want people to speak out, we want people to talk to friends, family, pick up the phone, speak to helplines, speak to charities, and yeah, just don't keep things to yourself and share your emotions, because that's ultimately what will.
And what you've done is you've just reflected what society is like, right? You've reflected what people are, rather than a construct, an artifice that is put in place by brands, by media agents, by whoever it might be, to try to reflect something that doesn't exist. Chris you're a bloke, right?
Yeah.
and you're being a bloke from a position of great media strength. You and Topman are reflecting what it's like to be a bloke in 2017.
Yeah.
And the resonance we found, the reach that we found, the social impact that we found in the last 2 days has reflected the fact that people agree. People say, I like that, that's really good, you're being a bloke, you're being a human.
Yeah, so relatable, that's the message behind it, being relatable for others and knowing allowing people to know what I've gone through. And I've always supported Topman myself, I wear Topman clothing, so it's not something new to me. And has obviously there are other aspects with it in the way they've worked with charities, so it's just a great.
It's not a joke. Chris and I sat down right when you started, when you were kind of on the cusp of working with Topman, and we talked about Calm, and we talked about how a partnership with your newfound fame and media attention could do some real good. So this isn't a joke. This was a fundamental part of the very early conversations that Jason Griffiths, the marketing director at Topman, and Calm and Chris talked about how we would construct this meticulously over the next month. So
you've been in planning since kind of the middle of July, end of July, wasn't it? So a few months. This whole campaign's been in operation, determining what we could do to make the strength and make the messages clear and as responsive as it has been, and it has been a success, hasn't it? So, the initial product, up until the launch of the product, the day before Mental Health Day, was a product called Ludicrous, which was an infused tear of my infused tear going into a bottle of water, which would go on sale. Obviously, that created a lot of media attention, being like, why does someone think it's okay for them to sell their bottled water, like who they think they are, what world do we live in? And that's the kind of hype that we needed. And obviously I took a battering on social media, I did zone out for it, but we needed that to create such an element that when the reveal came that it was a message which wasn't ludicrous, it was ludicrous, and it's ludicrous to bottle up your emotions. It had that strength behind it, and it had the reveal that we needed to get the message out.
Yeah, we wanted to make people laugh. What we wanted to do on World Mental Health Day, whilst other parts of perhaps the more responsible charitable sector are behaving in ways which are predictable, we wanted the world to take notice of what Chris was saying by selling this utterly, profoundly ridiculous product, which was the world of reality TV gone now. Yeah. Everything is finished, the world's gone to hell in a handcart. And it worked, so people didn't fall for it, but people thought this was crazy, but they were very interested in it. And what we wanted to do was create humour around a topic which is usually bereft of any humour, which is usually very worthy. But humour which provoked a conversation, humour which provoked a reaction, which was to understand that what you see isn't always what you get. And I think there is no question at all that it worked.
Yeah.
We were a key charity partner in that, and it raised the level of conversation around the stuff that Chris is doing to a point where it's no longer a challenge, it's no longer something which is dangerous or difficult or outlying. I think it's the way society has moved, and we want to accelerate that. And I think some of the work that we've done over the last week has really demonstrated that, especially with Chris, especially with the way that we've challenged people's perceptions of what reality TV is about, what Topman is about, and got to the heart of issues which are very easy to ignore, but actually tap into what makes people want to buy stuff. You know, Topman are doing this because people will go to Topman and will buy things, and they're doing it because they are socially responsible and good people. Broadcasters, newspapers have embraced what has happened in a relatively recent history. I think advertisers are moving very, very rapidly towards a position which says that a good company, a good brand, is a more profitable brand. We look at Unilever and some of the work that we've done with Lynx and with Dove for Men and various other brands. It's not about ulterior motives. It's not about positioning and changing a brand which would be perceived as being better. It's actually about creating a business which does good, because people want to work, want to buy products from companies that do good. We reach millions of consumers through partnerships. So Topman is one that we've worked with in the last week, as everybody seems to know, because it was such a huge success. Agencies are not lining up to work with us, but what I'm finding is that as I, with an agency and a client-side background, go out to try to work with those people, they're very, very receptive to doing good. And the campaign we did with Adam and Eve and Starcom around suicide notes was profound. It had a profound effect on the media, all of whom, all the Sundays, took that pro bono. They gave us half pages, full colour, for free. Adam and Eve did everything for free. And what we've seen with Havas, with BMB, with W Communications and with Topman everything has been for free, and this is because people want to behave well and they understand that this agenda is important to people.
Ludicrous.
Ludicrous? No, ludicrous. Ludicrous that men bottle up their feelings every single day, and ludicrous that suicide is the biggest killer in men under 45. This World Mental Health Day, don't bottle it up.